So, hi everybody. This is Drake's Lounge Australia for March 2025, and news coming from SARA is that we're gearing up for the 2025 Eastern Conference at Green Bank, and we have swag up. The swag link for the store is the SARA gift store. It's in chat, and and you don't have to be attending the meeting to get it. So there's Radio Jove logos on there, Sarah logos, a uh, new Green Bank logo on there for the joint conference, and we're ready to go. Also, I'm looking for uh, by March or excuse me April 12th. More articles and observation reports for the Sarah Journal for the March April edition. So I appreciate if you guys would pull up some of your observations and send them to me. You just have to be 2 pages for observations. Anybody have anything else? That'd be great. We'll also include the Western Conference pictures in there, so you'll see some of that. All the Western Conference videos, and thanks to Ken and Jason, who's online right now, for doing the Western Conference. Very highly successful. And all of those videos are up on YouTube right now. So you can see all those. And that's all I've got. Paul, what do you got for your side?
From me, personally, nothing to report because work does get in the way. And as mentioned earlier, some traveling. But we did give the paper at Western Conference, which I hope went down well. A little bit of an update on what's happening at our end. The main thing from the Australian end is that the big dish, the 8-meter dish, will be back in action very, very soon. All the motorization stuff has been redone. The problematic lift jack screw has been replaced and is now encased in bellows to keep the dirt out as much as possible. And that's all been run up and tested. They're just finalizing the electronics that goes up on the head of the dish there. And Phil Costigan thought that within the next month or two, it should be back to collecting data in a calibrated sense, in which case we can start providing some data from the Southern Hemisphere to you guys in the Northern Hemisphere. And we can start to fill into some of your gaps that you might have in your maps. So that's what's happening here. There is talk from the Astronomical Society of Victoria to develop. There is a race course very close to us, very close to me here. And in the center of the race course is a public park. And the local council wants to develop that park into amongst other things, a space for the Astronomical Society of Victoria. So it would be an urban observatory, optical observatory. And we hope we might get some radio astronomy into that as well. Those plans are progressing, and we're hopeful that something will come of that. If it does, it will be very handy for me because it's literally 10 minutes drive down the road as opposed to 2 hours or 2.5 hours to go out to Heathcote site. So we'll keep you up to date on that one. Duncan's appeared now, so there's some message must be going out. So that's pretty much it from me. But I can see Rob. Rob, are you in Australia or in America?
I'm out of Waruna right now, in the rain. Waruna is the Astronomical Society of New South Wales, their dark site. So I'm sitting out here with my laptop and my iPhone, intermittently connecting to the internet. So for me, I'll give you my report.
Yep.
What happened was the council approved construction of our front wall and everything that was almost falling down. And I've spent the last couple months being the mason's assistant, helping him do his job. So I really haven't done too much in astronomy. But what I have done is I've built myself a network time server in anticipation of putting together an interferometer, with this, here in at Waruna, So basically, nothing new to report. So hopefully, next month it'll be better. So that's basically it for me. And you froze.
And you have an eclipse. You have an eclipse coming up, I think. Another one.
I should be on the east coast of America today, but
So
passport difficulties didn't turn out fast enough for me to make this trip. But
Right.
I have booked the Paris and Belgium trip. End of May, first part of June. For the solar eclipse conference. So I booked for that, and so hopefully that'll work out this time. Last time it was canceled.
Yes. So if you're in the rain there, Rob, there'll be no astronomy going on at all then, will it?
No, not at all. The dome is is all set up and ready to go, just waiting for stars.
Yes. Yes. And I don't think there's much radio astronomy in that area. Is that right? In the New South Wales group?
Well, we started out a couple of years ago, and I had all of the electronics ready to go, and people said that we'll do this, we'll do that. Nothing happened.
Right.
So it's basically me, looking at the, I can see it just behind me. You can't see it because of the glow in the window, but it's basically just sitting out there, rusting.
Right.
A lot of people talked about it, but nothing happened. So I will try to restart that again, see what we can do.
Yeah. Well, Len Shako is coming up. He's moving from Melbourne up to your area there, and he's bringing his dish with him. So you might get a bit of support from Len once he's settled in and operating.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, he's in your area, I think. I think he mentioned he was in that area close to the dark sky site. So yeah, you may be able to get something moving there.
Can you
Very good.
put him in touch with me?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Rob, say again.
Oh, can you put him in touch with me?
Yeah, I will do. Yep.
Or versa. Exchange email.
Yeah. Your internet is intermittent. It's coming and going, but we got most of that. That's fine. So going around the screen, Duncan, did you get a reminder during the week, Duncan, about this meeting? Not getting any audio at the moment. Needs to plug it in.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Yeah, it's on boot. This computer changes its audio ports.
Right. Yes. Another feeling.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I did get a meeting notice. I just got distracted by doing something else on the farm.
Yeah.
What have I been up to? Well, I've been to Canberra and back, which from just outside Adelaide, and I've been working with a group to capture a errant 10-meter dish, which was moving around in the wind, and that got captured last Saturday morning. So that was a success. It was took us about 6 months of discussion and about 3 hours of work. So that's now gone in. It has been pinned. Basically, I took it back to the point where it was as per design. We got the pins, the parking pins out of the keepers and put them in the dish, and then chained down the dish. So it was an interesting little exercise for a lot of reasons. So that's part one of that project done. Yesterday I got some little boards came in, and the boards are designed to give excess noise to some low VHF dipoles, LWA type dipoles, to get a calibration. So that I've just finished my first pass at calibrating them, and yeah, it gets 13 dB excess noise, and the excess noise level is tunable by changing the amount of current running through the Zener diode, which generates the noise and is amplified. So that's been a bit of a success. It'll be the next part we'll get into the field, so that'll be a bit more difficult. And the other thing is I've been playing around with a DDS, a direct digital synthesis generator, for 24 megahertz for some of the some SDRs, so I can have a cheap reference rather than an expensive one for the clocking. I think I talked about this last time. And observations of Vila go on every day. The RFI environment's not been particularly good recently. I have to zap a lot of samples, but we're still getting data, and the reasonable stability in the timing. So I think that's about it from me.
Sounds like you got plenty on, Duncan. Plenty to do.
Correct. Correct. More a case of I've had an idea, write it down in the book that you aren't going to open for a couple of years. So I just try and finish off things rather than get, spread out too much. Do things well rather than do a lot.
Yes, don't start a new project until you finish the old one.
Yeah, I've got a pipeline of that. Yeah. So, there was one other thing that people may not be aware of. Chime, the Canadian, I can't remember what the acronym is, Chime antenna, with its VLBI outriggers, detected the brightest FRB ever, fast radio burst. There was an ATEL astronomical telegram put out about it. Well worth a look. Just so, it's just so bright, it's amazing, and the speed of the rise, but also the structure around the FRB pulse. Really interesting science. So I recommend people have a look at that.
Have you got a reference for it, Duncan, that you could go in the chat?
I'll work on that when I get off here. Yes.
Yep.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yep. Okay.
I think that's me finished.
All right. Thank you very much. Is that everyone from the Australian then? We're very light on this one. So, Rich, I think it's over to you to whiz around your group.
All right. Interesting note is that Wolfgang, the Osterpeeler group, actually caught one of the brightest pulse or FRBs ever. So they're on the record for, I'm not sure it was the brightest at the time or close, but if this is a brighter one than Wolfgang caught, that's pretty bright. So, yeah. Let's see. Jason, how's VLA doing?
It's coming along. It's always good things going on here. So, I guess you guys can see my screen.
Yep.
So I've been collaborating with Andrew Thornett in the UK, and he had the idea to take some of these spectral observations using the 20-meter dish and take enough points for M33 and M31 to actually get some spatial resolution. And So I did kind of a proof of concept before we ran out of credits. And I gathered just a spattering of points on M33, and I did some processing and used conditional formatting, in Excel to give kind of a false color image. So I actually created 3 different plots, and for scale, I put an optical image of it with actual coordinates on it, and kind of scaled that to match the same scale as the image that I created with the 20-meter data. So this is this plot is that I'm showing now is using the average amplitude over the entire spectral range. I basically just limited my analysis to only the actual spectrum of the galaxy. I didn't keep the sides. So this is average amplitude. This is peak amplitude. And then interestingly, I did a false color of relative Doppler. So I colored it red if it was red shifted from the mean, and blue if it was blue shifted from the mean. And then white is kind of like the mean velocity of the galaxy as a whole. So you can definitely see the rotation pattern, and it definitely matches the orientation that's shown in the optical image. So this was kind of a rough proof of concept that we could actually do this with the 20-meter data. I did try using the raster scan mode just to see what it would generate. And unfortunately, it throws away all the Doppler data. You just get basically total power, which is not useful for what we're trying to do. So we're going to have to do it the hard way, but it is doable. So more to come once we get the 20-meter count back up and going. And also each of my points I was able to gather using just two or three, I think just 1 second on, 1 second off. So basically 4 credits per data point. So I was really trying to see if I could do this on the cheap without using up a bunch of time. And because M31 and M33 are pretty bright, relatively speaking, the 20-meter dish can definitely get a clean spectrum just from like 1 second on target. So more to come on that. We're planning to do a collaborative effort and actually do a spectral or a Doppler map, spatial map of M31, and we're gonna try to co-write a paper if we can get it done in time, try to co-write a paper that we'll present for the Eastern Conference. So more to come on that. But that's what I got. Let's see, oh, here we go. You're on mute, Rich. Sorry.
Mute, Rich.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is it possible to do it with your current dish? I know it's the beam width's a lot bigger, but if you move just slightly, or you do the scan throughs, or
I definitely think that it's possible to get some, especially on M33 because it's large enough. Unfortunately, the climate conditions here, specifically the wind speed here in Socorro, is just not conducive to my portable foldable dish. So I'm kind of dropping back and punting on that a bit. But what I'm planning to do is actually kind of follow in um, Edward's footsteps. He's built a little more robust, but still portable dish that he basically assembles in pie sections and then disassembles and puts in the shed when he's not using. So I think that would be more conducive to my current location and the climate conditions. So and if I do that, I'll probably cover it with aluminum window screening instead of Faraday fabric, because I think it would have a better conductivity. It would also be more porous from the perspective of the wind, so it wouldn't catch so much wind. So that's something in the near future, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So,
All right. All right. Great job. Ken.
Nothing on this end other than I'm trying to prepare the astronomy on the lawn for our Eastern Conference. And just setting that up because I have all the equipment. I have the tents for in case we have rain. So that's what I've been working on right now. And of course, I'm trying to find out what the odds on getting a room in the dormitory, because I hear we're going to have a pretty full house since we have a combined conference. So I reached out to Marcus and I haven't heard back. It's been about 4 days, so I'll keep trying.
Okay. Let's see. Wendy.
Here I am. Well, let's see. Not much. I've got the news that I'm going to be stuck here for the time being. So I thought I would try to do something more software than hardware, since I live in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and there's so much. I guess I could do a study on radio interference, but nobody needs that. So if anybody has any words of wisdom on if I were going to buy a heat sink to attach on the connector of a coax cable, where would you look? And I think I'm going to give Ted's software thing with the Mac a shot, because I have Mac and Windows platforms in my house, but I just don't like Windows. I did development on Mac when I was a much younger person, and I've just, so anyway, that's it for me.
So Wendy, what are you really hooking up? Usually don't need a heatsink on the coax. You usually put it on the device that's heating up, like the LNA or the receiver. What are you really trying to cool down?
The an antenna that goes into the television. You know how you can do streaming and use your TV as a monitor? So, but the antenna is like this featureless plastic box, and the connector comes out. It's a plug connector, and plugs into the back of the TV, which is also a featureless plastic box with the end of the connector sticking out. I could, excuse me, I could put it somewhere else, but I was trying to avoid having to take those things apart. And when you feel around on the back after a while, that connector is getting noticeably hot.
Oh, I see.
So I thought, well, there must be, I'm not sure what to call it when I do a search, but there must be stuff like that around. Amazon appears to have everything in the world you could possibly think of. I'm sure if I could just figure out what parameters to search for, I'm sure I could find something.
Anybody else have anything about the? I think I see what she's talking about, but I'm not sure I've seen one that you can actually hook up to the connector.
Well, in the meantime, I'll just go and see what I can find.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that somebody knew the Acme rocket roller skates and the heat sink that goes on a cable.
I wonder if you could use a bulkhead type connector, mount that to a heat sink, or to
Something.
an aluminum plate, maybe with a heat sink on it, and then that bulkhead connector would just be like a through, and you'd connect the other two connectors to both sides of it. Maybe that might work.
Yeah, there's a thought. What about materials? Should it Do I have to worry about dissimilar materials like aluminum to stainless steel or vice versa?
Only if it's out in the elements, but even then, I mean,
No, you don't think?
yeah, I don't think so. I mean, aluminum is usually the best thing for heat sinks. So, or some type of alloy of aluminum that's got a really good heat thermal conductivity, you know, so.
My only familiarity for heat sinks are things that you stick on integrated circuits.
Right.
So anyway, thanks.
Thanks, Wendy. Johnny Cox.
Hey there. Good evening / morning to everyone. I'm all set to go to the Eastern Conference. I'm all signed up and I got a cabin. So that's good. Got a place to lay down. Radio astronomy wise, I've had quite a lot of afternoon RFI, and most all the Jupiter is pretty faint. Some of our intrepid crew have collected some Jupiter, but it's pretty faint. But I haven't been able to. I've heard there's an X flare today, so I'm going to be looking at that data in just a little while, more toward 8 o'clock our time. I think I'm lined up to set up a dual dipole. I've never been to Green Bank. Set up a dual dipole in the field or close there, just to have it running during that time, and I'm really interested in to see what that does in a very radio quiet place. So I'm looking forward to that. But that's I did one little sidelight. I saw a lunar eclipse. I know this is radio astronomy, but it was pretty cool. But I went to Arizona, and we were driving to get away from clouds in the southern part of the state, and ran right into a dust storm. An old Tennessee hillbilly / South Carolina hillbilly. Never been in a dust storm before, but that was it was intriguing. I didn't know whether I should have been scared or not, but everybody stopped. The train stopped. There's a train track goes by parallel to I-10. They stopped the train. So I don't know if anybody's ever had that experience before. But anyway, neither here nor there. I'm rattling on. That's all I have. And thanks.
Thanks, Johnny. Richard.
Yes, Rich. I've got a small 1 meter dish that I use up at S-band, 2200 to 2300 megahertz. Not able to do any radio astronomy because I'm in the middle of Honolulu and the RFI is just terrible. But I did make some G over T measurements and found that the dish was not as efficient as I had hoped. So I kind of kludged together a little antenna range in the middle of my wife's garden and made some measurements on the helical antenna that I've been using as a feed. Found that the beam width on that was a little narrower than I had anticipated. So been trying to optimize the dish for at least for satellite tracking, and having a good time, just doing the hardware part of radio astronomy, even though I can't really do any radio astronomy here where I'm located. I would want to say that I appreciate the Australian data from Learmonth on solar flux units, which allows one to make G over T measurements. It seems to be the only consistent site I can find on the internet, and really appreciate that data at a wide range of frequencies. So it's very valuable. That's about it from here.
Now, based on that, can you put a link down for that data? I don't think we've ever had a link for that.
Okay. I will try and find it and do that.
That'd be great. Okay, thanks, Richard.
Yes.
And let's see, Jackie.
Hi guys, I'm just listening in and just wanted to, keep participating and hearing what you guys are up to. Very interested in coming to see you guys at Green Bank in June, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. I just ordered everything for my first dish to detect the hydrogen line. So Scope in a Box is going to be here in a couple days, and I'm excited to put together. I also do want to do that little corner cube reflector build that Jason did originally, and he sent me his paper. So I'm going to work on building those side by side, and I'll keep you guys updated.
Well, that's great. Okay, thanks. Welcome back. Welcome, Helen.
Yeah, I'm glad you posted the Western Conference so I can catch up. It kind of caught me with the time change, so I missed a little bit. Everybody springs ahead, but Arizona does not go on daylight savings time, so all of a sudden we're an hour behind everybody. But I'll catch up on that. Thank you.
No problem. Let's see, Don Latham.
Good day, everybody. Sorry to be so late. Actually, not much new. We had our first thunderstorm last night, so I guess spring is officially here. Road work season will be not far behind.
Okay. Let's see, Tom, our illustrious treasurer.
Yeah, greetings to everyone. I was trying to do something else for the SARA that didn't work, and we'll have to go back to it again. But I can say something about the 20 meter. Steve has signed the contract to get us back on the 20 meter telescope at Green Bank. And as soon as they email a invoice for the time, I will pay it, which means it'll probably take another 3 weeks or so. Last year when I did this, from the time I sent them the check to the time that they acknowledged it, was about 2 weeks or 10 working days or something like that. So it's going to be a while before we get back on, and that's just the nature of what's going on. So I will tell you that, and there's nothing more we can do than what we're doing.
Okay, and when are you going to call the? Everybody must sign up for the Eastern Conference. When are you going to call that they have to be signed up by?
I believe that Marcus set that as towards the end of May. I believe the 29th, but I'd have to go look at his paperwork. So something like that is the cutoff date. It is about Memorial Day, but I'm not sure just exactly when without going back and looking.
Okay. So yeah, if anybody's going to go to the Eastern Conference or even sign up for the online version, just don't hesitate too much starting early May because there's going to be some cutoffs so we can get all the paperwork done and planning done. Let's see. N1LS, Nils? All right. N1LS, are you on? Everybody's popping in.
Yes, can you hear me?
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, this is Nils N1LS. Yes, I'm sorry. I got the notice rather late here, so I just got on about 3 minutes ago. Sorry, but I have nothing to contribute right now. I'm just listening. Thank you.
All right, no problem. And I think Bruce Rout, you just came on, but you're the last one.
Well, I'm glad. I just saw the Zoom link and jumped on as fast as I could. How are you doing?
Everybody's doing good.
That's good. Yeah, I've got an old USRP here that I'm trying to get up, but I'm in the middle of talking to Marcus Leach, trying to get the thing to run under BAA seminar. So that's sort of where I'm at. I want to see if I can get this old device working, and then set it up without having to, upgrade to new devices, not knowing what I'm doing. So I'll just stay not knowing what I'm doing with this device that I have here. That's sort of all that I'm doing, and I'm trying to get this interferometer happening. I've got the feed horns built and everything. And I've been talking to some local colleges to see if they might be interested with their students being involved with radio astronomy.
Okay, thanks. Mike, are you still on? And Lorenzo? Nope, looks like they all dropped off. Okay, I think that's it, Paul, for our side.
Right, so a quick update from an email here, Rich, from Steve Bentley, who you may remember is the brain behind all the electronics for our 8-meter dish. He sends his apologies, he can't get along to the meeting, but he was up at Heathcote at the Dark Sky site where our 8-meter dish is located on Friday with Tim Davis. Tim has recently joined us and is a whiz on the programming side. They've got the hydrogen line receiver now finished. So it says state of conclusion, now ready for surveys. So that's a significant step forward in the fact that that receiver is now working. Tim is still trying to work out how to interface his dish tracking software with the dish control system. There are a few indie driver issues still to be understood and resolved. So the receiver's ready, the motor drives are ready. They're just trying to interface the tracking software to the motor drives, and then they'll do the calibration, and then away we go. So we're getting closer and closer to being able to produce data from that dish, and that'll be very significant. It will have been something like almost 2 years, I think, by the time it's been out of commission. And the Astronomical Society itself is very keen for us to get going again. It's a draw card for our public days when people from the public, not just from the association, but public, go up and find out about radio astronomy. So we're making moves there. The other one to just throw in, Rich, is that as of very early April, we will go off daylight saving as we move into autumn and then winter. So that has a significance for the timing of this meeting. If we will be UTC plus 10 after about April the 6th, I think it is, so certainly for the next meeting. You can probably work out then, how many you are relative to UTC. We can work out what the timing is. If we stick with 9 a.m. Melbourne time and then work back for you guys, we should be able to work that out. But I think you've gone on to daylight saving. We're about to go off it very early in April. So that's about it from this end, Rich. Sorry, we've put light on for participation. I'll send a couple of reminders around this month, and let's see if we can't get back on track again in the April meeting.
All right. Anybody else have anything else? All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Rich.
Okay.